Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are brand new here, my name is Shalia and I'm so glad to have you guys here. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on this lovely cut crease. I have hooded eyes, so cut creases were always a really big challenge for me, and so since I've gotten a lot better at them, I wanted to go ahead and do one on my channel since I have not done that yet. And I am so in love with how this came out. I'm actually gonna get headed to work right now, but I wanted you guys to get ready with me. Literally, let's chat it up, let's get ready, and you know, let's get glam. So before I do jump into that, I'm gonna ask you guys to do me a small favor. If you scroll down just a tiny bit, don't let me leave your screen. Just scroll down a little bit, find that red button and subscribe to my channel. And before you scroll back up, click the bell so you guys get notified as soon as I post something brand new, because I don't want you guys to miss a single thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this video so I can teach you guys how I created this look. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already done my brows and primed my eyes just because this eye look is a little bit more time consuming, and I know you guys don't have necessarily 30 minutes out of your day to spend with me, although I wish maybe you did. So I'm going to just go ahead and pin my hair back so that it is out of the way. Boom. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and use my Morphe M504, and I'm going to be using this single shadow from Anastasia in the color Brick, and I'm just going to be dusting this all over my crease. And rest assured, this is going to look crazy for a while until we're done, and then it'll all sort of make some sense. Now, using the same brush, I'm going to go into the color Sepia, also an Anastasia Beverly Hills single shadow. Only this time, I'm keeping this color a little bit lower. Not, you know, down here or anything, but just a little bit down, because we want a nice gradient of color. And you guys do want to make sure that you're pulling this color outward, because we're going to need it out there when we cut the crease. Now I'm going to take a much smaller brush. This is a Morphe M514 because I'm going to get really into my crease here. And I'm going to take the Dare to Create palette from Morphe, this one. I'm going to take the second color here. I'm pretty sure the name of it is Mask. So because I have hooded eyes, instead of building this here in my crease, I'm going to actually build it above it, which is about here. And I'm sure you guys are all like, okay, we're just building the same brown, but I promise you, when we're done, it'll make so much sense. So you should kind of have something like this going on. Like a kind of like a whale. Imagine the hump of a whale. You know what I mean? Like that. Alright, now this part is super important. You want to take a clean blending brush before we go in with the next color. I'm taking a MAC 217, and you want to just clean up all the colors that you've blended so far. You can kind of just look at it and see if it needs a little bit of blending. If it doesn't, then you can fast forward past this and move on to the next step. Now going back into the Morphe palette, we're going to use Muse. It's the black. So this is a Sigma E36. It's really small. You guys can see that, yeah. And that's what I'm going to be going into, the black. And we're going to go, once again, beneath the color that we just added. So you want to keep the black about here. And I am doing this with such a light hand. It is so important to not, like, dig into your eye socket. You will, like, just add so much color to it, and it'll be so difficult to blend. That's what you don't want to do. You want to just be dusting the shadows on top of each other. You look crazy right now, guys, but stay along with me on this journey. It's gonna be okay. So now we're gonna cut the crease. I'm gonna take a small angled brush and my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot, and we're gonna cut this, not literally. So for those of you ladies without hooded eyes like me, you can go ahead and cut your natural crease. You're just going to extend outward, just like I will in a second. But for those of you ladies who do have hooded eyes, you want to be going above your crease, above your natural crease. Right where your crease is, you kind of want to go above it, because if I open my eye, you'll see we've lost some color, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to go ahead with my eye open first, and I'm going to give it a little nick, like that. So I kind of know where I'm going to be going. So my natural crease is here, but we're going to cut the crease up here. And also, this is something you want to be doing with a super light hand, not too heavy, because it'll be really difficult to clean up this really thick concealer. And it's always better to add than to take away. It's easier to add more than it is to take away too much. So just a tip for the future. We're going to come downward, and we're going to swoop outward like so, and meet where we ended our eyebrow. So I went ahead and cleaned up the bottom completely, did not press record. So that was my bad, but you guys did not miss very much, thank God. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I used and exactly how I did this. It's super easy. You should have seen my face. I literally looked at the camera and was like I looked at the monitor and realized I was like not in record. So I literally just sat here and was like, and it was like after I had done like the last flick on this side, cleaned it up with my makeup wipe, and then looked over at the monitor and was like, fuck. So I used once again the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot to clean this up, and it's full coverage, so it covers up all that shadow that we did at the bottom. And I used a concealer brush. Patience is a true virtue when you're doing this, because if you go too fast, you will really mess up that line of demarcation. So I'm gonna try to bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can really see how what it should look like. So we went ahead and cut here. And then I just used that brush, and just swept sideways. I find it better to sweep to the side than downward, because going downward, you're likely to accidentally go above the line, and that's what you don't want to do. And then I very slowly clean up the edge, anywhere where the lines are not super duper straight. So I hope you guys can do that fairly easily. I promise it's not hard. I'm so pissed that just happened to me. I'm so sorry. Alright, now going back into my palette, I'm going to take the lightest shade here. This is the color Bear. And I'm going to take my Morphe M167. It's a flat shadow brush like this. And I'm just very lightly going to tap this on top, because we want to really set the shadow and make sure it's not slipping and sliding all night long. Because I am going to work, and I want to look good for the majority of my shift. I'm in people's faces all day, and it's really important to me to look good. Alright, we're done with the palettes for a little while, and we're going to move on to the rest of the eye. So I'm going to use my Stila Magnificent Metals in the color Smoky Storm to add the glitter to this. And because the Stila shadows do apply wet, you want to just take a second to allow it to dry. I like to fan mine, speed up the process. Anybody got time to be sitting here for 30 minutes? Okay, now that that's all done, we're going to move on to foundation. You guys know I'm loving the NARS All Day Luminous foundation right now, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep using this for today. It's just, I really love this foundation, and I love the way it wears throughout the day. So, you know, don't kill me. And as usual, I'm going to apply this to the butt of my beauty blender and apply this to my face. And I did not forget, but I don't want you guys to forget, I did prime and moisturize my face off camera before we started this, so make sure you guys do that before you follow me. Been wondering if you guys would like to see like a favorites of mine, like just the products that I'm in love with at the moment. I was thinking of doing a full face drugstore tutorial, like a one brand kind of thing. Would you guys be interested in seeing a one brand, or would you prefer if it is drugstore just a bunch of different brands? Make sure you guys tell me below, because I will be honest, I don't use drugstore very much, just because like in my past experiences they don't last me as nicely throughout my work day. Like, they're good for other occasions, but throughout work they don't last me very well. But I'm also speaking from years ago, and I'm also speaking from just like, I wasn't that great at makeup back then. Like, I wasn't taking all the proper steps to make sure that my makeup looked really good. So you know, I want to just kind of jump back into that, because I know that drugstore brands have really been stepping their game up and making some amazing products. And if you guys are using them, there's no reason for me to not be using them. And I want to be able to put you guys on, because I am really willing to go out and explore new products, and then be able to come back in here, sit here in front of this camera, and give you guys the tea, you know? I want us all to look flawless. You wake up, I don't hear you, flawless. Yikes, I am a nut. Sometimes you feel like a nut. I always do, so I'm not even gonna sing the next line. Now I'm gonna take my NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer, Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Blech. The other one's creamy. And I'm going to go ahead and do my highlight and contour routine, which I've changed this much. And I'm going to use a concealer brush to do that. So I never used to add concealer to my smile lines, and one day I did it and was like, mind blown, literally. Because I always get creases, and I was like, you know, I felt like adding it here was too much. I felt like I used to do it in the past and I never liked it, but I was probably also using a concealer that was too light for me, but I digress. And then I did it again, and I was like, no. Honey, snatched. I was just, ooh, in love. Anyway, so I'm going to use my Morphe blending sponge, beauty sponge, blending sponge, whatever you want to call it. And I use pointed side, and we're going to go ahead and just get started here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some contour. These are the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation sticks. I use the color Truffle to do this, and you guys know the deal. And I'm going to go ahead and blend this all out with my Sephora Pro Contour brush. I have not mastered the art of blending out my contour with a beauty blender or any beauty sponge. Like, I've tried it and I'm like, nah, no. This, I'm not here for this. I'm not. Just like, this is not cute. Got me out here looking crazy, contour me down here. I'm like, oh fuck. But honestly, I have a special place in my heart if you can contour with a beauty blender. Like, shouts to you, honey. Alright, now that we've snatched our face a tiny bit more, I'm going to use my Morphe M572. It's a flat brush, and I'm going to go ahead and blend out very gently, super light hand, this contour on my nose. Alright, now that that's all in place, I'm going to take my RCMA No Color Translucent Powder, and I'm going to take the top off. And I'm going to take another damp beauty blender. This one's clean though. And I'm going to actually dip it directly in here and set my face. Now I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm going to just darken up. You can't see that. Boom, there it goes. And I'm going to just darken up the contour. There's such a dramatic eye, you want to just make sure the face kind of like matches. And we have a whole snatched party going on. Then I'm going to take the same brush for my nose that I use in my nose, and add a little bit of powder down the sides. Across center. And I like to go down here as well. Then I'm just gonna use my Morphe M527 and I'm gonna dust this off, you know? Now we're gonna go back into that RCMA powder. We're gonna use the Morphe sponge again, but we're gonna use the flat side, and we're gonna just go ahead, put a tiny bit of powder on there, nothing too crazy. And I'm literally gonna leave this for about 2 seconds. Like, I'm using so little because I don't want that, like, I don't want it to look like it's like, oh, she put powder there. Alright, like I said, take us away. Now I'm going to use my Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper Black. I love this liner because it's super, it like gets me a super sharp wing. And we're going to just wing out our eyeliner. Then I'm going to use my Fierce Flicks liner from Ciate to darken it. Alright, now that that's all done, we're going to go back into those single shadows that we used in the beginning of the tutorial. They're in my little palette here. This is Brick over here, and that's Sienna? Sepia? Can't remember the name of it. I think it's Sienna. And starting with the lighter shade, I'm going to just try to smoke out my bottom lash line. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to go into the darker color. Sepia, Sienna, whatever it's called. Can't remember right now. Then I'm going to take my MAC eyeliner in Feline and I'm going to line my waterline. Next I'm going to be using my Bad Gal Bang Mascara from Benefit and just pop that onto my lashes. Now I'm going to allow my mascara some time to dry, so I'm going to give it a minute, and while that's happening, I'm going to work on my highlights. So I'm going to start by going back with my Morphe M124, and I'm going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Global Glow. So I'm going to pop a little bit of this into my inner corner. Then I'm going to take a fan brush, this one's from Sephora, and I'm going to just do the same thing to my cheeks as always. Just apply this highlight to the high point of my cheekbone. Pull it a little bit up in that C motion. I'm going to take a small shadow brush and I'm just going to pop some of this on my nose, down the bridge of my nose. And I am going to pat that out. Next for blush, I'm going to keep it super simple. And I'm going to use the NARS blush. I do not know how to pronounce this blush. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's like Goulet. That's what I'm going with. I like, if we keep putting names on shit that we don't know how to pronounce, none of us are going to ever call it anything. But I'm going to use a big powder brush today to do this. Now I'm going to pop some false lashes on off camera really quickly, and I will be right back with you guys. Promise. Alright guys, now that that's all done, we're going to move on to the lips. Today I'm going to be using Dolce K by Kylie Cosmetics, and I'm actually going to skip the liner on it, so that's okay with you guys. Next I'm going to add some setting spray and pretty much be done with this, but I'm going to cover my eyes because I don't want to mess up any of the eyeliner that I've done. And just let that settle in to my skin. When I said get ready with me today, I meant it, so let's move on to hair. I'm going to just run a quick little flat iron through this bad boy. I like to just separate with my fingers. I've been loving my hair super straight these days, like bone straight. My hair is naturally like really curly, but you know. And I love tucking one side behind my ear. then leaving the other. And there you have it, guys. That concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. And if you haven't already, what the hell are you waiting for? Click that red button and subscribe to my channel so you guys do not miss a beat. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.